Today, we're doing two college football player props here over on PrizePicks for Thursday, August 28th. Pretty decent college football slate here for August 28th. Before I get started, take a look in the description below the video. Hop into the Discord, $9.30 per month, 31 cents per day. So I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. We have their cappers in there as well. Super positive community overall. Everyone in there just trying to help each other cash. Also want to mention I'm doing a promo right now for first-time members in there. 20% off your first month using promo code TUFF with the link in the description below of the video. But let's get right into it. Like I said, August 28th, college football player props. Two player props for this slate. Let's not waste any time. Let's just get right into it. The first one I'm looking at here is going to be a Chris Durr, wide receiver for Wyoming. This is a super interesting line here at 28.5. I like the over on this one. Take a look at this matchup, Wyoming versus Akron. Wyoming is on the road here. This game has let me see, the spread went away. Actually, let's refresh this real quick. 5.5 point spread. So Wyoming's 5.5 point favorites here on the road. In Akron, weather looking like it could possibly be a factor here. I know it's supposed to rain around 4 o'clock for not that long, so definitely second half there'll be no weather issues. Again, weather should not significantly impact this game. I do think if it does rain, it impacts the game positively after it rains with the slippery conditions, again, just helping the offenses. But I like this spot here for Chris Durr. We take a look here at him as a player. He's going into his sophomore season last year. He's the number 2 wide receiver on the depth chart, sophomore season. Last year as a freshman, had 31 catches for 348 yards, 46 total targets. We look over on Outlier. Again, there's a link in the description. You get a 7-day free trial with Outlier. Chris Durr last season was over the line of 4 of 12 games, 71, 53, 83, and 57. Again, 7-day free trial with the link in the description below over on Outlier. But over in 4 of 12 last season, which is, again, not the greatest hit rate, but again, season to season college football changes drastically. And we look at Chris Durr here, like this article talks about. I will put a link to this article in the description. Chris Durr, a menace in the slot. And again, I think that bodes well for us here when we're talking about the weather potentially being a factor. Slot checkdowns and things like that should just benefit us in this game. But again, a couple of interesting things here. Again, shout out to Nathan _26 over on X. Nathan Carroll, he put this out, top 15 wide receivers in the Mountain West. And again, according to the PFF, Chris Durr is the highest graded wide receiver in the Mountain West. 76.6 grade on in the Mountain West. I mean, again, we're talking about analytics and things like that. Again, shout out to Nathan Carroll. I'll put a link to this X post in the description. Highest ranked wide receiver in the Mountain West, according to PFF, which really, really helps us here in this spot, in my opinion. But more interesting that I do like about this line here is, again, last season Akron gave up the 4th most total passing yards in the MAC conference, the MAC. But what to me is key here is Caden Anderson is now the starting quarterback of Wyoming. Okay, so Caden Anderson last season, he started in 3 full games. He played in a couple other ones as the backup, but he started in these 3 games against Utah State, New Mexico, and Colorado State, and those were his 3 starts. And if we take a look here, Chris Durr benefited greatly from Caden Anderson being the quarterback. Chris Durr in a game, Caden Anderson started here against Colorado State, 7 targets, 3 catches for 13 yards. But again, we're looking for volume here. 7 targets. All right, Chris Durr, 7 targets with Caden Anderson at the quarterback position. 3 targets here with Caden Anderson at the quarterback position. And then we see this game here against Utah State, he saw 10 targets. So in 3 games with Caden Anderson at quarterback, we saw 10, 3, and 7. So 20 targets through 3 games with Caden Anderson at quarterback. Again, I like this spot here a lot. I think 28.5 is pretty low for Chris Durr. Which again, the offense in Wyoming is supposed to take a massive step forward anyway. So I like this spot here a lot for him. Second play for this Thursday slate is going to be a pass completions line. We get out of here. It's going to be Brandon Sorsby, Cincinnati QB versus Nebraska, 6 p.m. This game is probably the best game on the slate in my opinion. Nebraska, Cincinnati. We're looking at this one. I like this one because Cincinnati is 6.5 point underdogs here. 6.5 point underdogs with a 52.5 game total. Just means Brandon Sorsby going to be throwing the ball. Just hit rate alone last season, if we look at this line, over a 9 of 12 last season, averaging 20.75 pass completions. Again, very solid hit rate on this line, 9 of 12. When the game's total points is around 48, 5 of 7, averaging 21 pass completions. Just giving us that upside, and I think with the additions that Cincinnati has made in their wide receiver room, I think all 3 of their main wide receivers are that I will put a link in the description below. Sorsby talks about his wide receivers in space, and even here the new mix could make Sorsby even more efficient than he was last season as he tries to get closer to 70% completion rate percentage, which last season he was 64th, which in the Big 12 was the third highest pass completion percentage of quarterbacks. Shador was 74, Josh Hoover 66.5, but then Brendan Sorsby here at 64%. For quarterbacks that threw over 300 passing attempts, he was the third highest pass completion percentage. So he's already a pretty efficient quarterback already. And we look at how Nebraska ended the season last year. 3 games that they ended the season with last season. We saw Grayson James, Boston College QB, 26 of 41, 26 pass completions. Wisconsin QB, Brandon Locke, 20 for 30, 20 pass completions. And then quarterback for USC, Jaden Maeva, 25 of 35. 25 pass completions. So again, they ended last season giving up a ton of pass completions, but I really just like this line given this 6.5-point underdogs that Cincinnati here is. Brandon Sorsby, obviously a very veteran QB and very efficient quarterback as well. Again, outlier link in the description below, 7-day free trial. But 2 player props for Thursday, August 28th, college football slate. Drop a like, hit the subscribe button, you guys. Take on all the links in the description below, and as always, let's cash.